Good evening to you. Cannabis users in Bristol are demanding the right to grow their own drugs, saying what's sold on the street is too strong and dangerous.
The Bristol Cannabis Club will be marching this weekend. They want a cafe and greater tolerance of their illegal habit.
But anti-drugs campaigners are alarmed, warning that cannabis can cause mental health problems in young people. Scott Ellis reports.
Rob is a working father of two who could be jailed for 5 years for his Class B cannabis habit. Nonetheless, he now wants his cannabis club to have the right to grow their own, saying drug dealers have flooded Bristol streets with overly powerful cannabis known as skunk.
Things are added to it like spice, glass, silica, other compounds to bulk it out and to give it a higher effect. And obviously these are very detrimental to health and in some cases fatal.
They also want a cannabis cafe in Bristol, in the same way users of alcohol have pubs. Good for them, says this former government advisor, who's long argued that banning cannabis leads to more harm than good, pointing out 100 million Americans now have access to legal cannabis.
Skunk and spice, these are problems caused by prohibition. Countries that don't have extreme prohibition don't have problems with those drugs. The underground market will always use the strongest drug with the most profit, and that's what's happening in Britain today. So let's change the model.
According to the Home Office, cannabis is the nation's favourite illegal drug, taken by more than 2 million adults. But trendy anti-prohibition arguments come with a health warning that cannabis is a gateway drug to Class A substances and causes a risk of psychosis in vulnerable people.
It's going to cause you harm to your mental health especially if there's underlying mental health issues, and then you start using a substance that's going to change your mental health, then yeah, it's going to be a problem.
Anyone found with a small amount of cannabis is normally only given a police caution at first. But last year in Bristol, the police carried out 2,800 seizures of cannabis plants, so there's no tolerance of those who grow the drug. It looks as if the Cannabis Club has a long way to march before the UK goes Dutch. Scott Ellis, BBC Points West, Bristol.
Well, David Rains is from the National Drug Prevention Alliance. Thank you very much for speaking to us tonight. Unsurprisingly, you're against this.
Yes. I mean, we have laws about drugs, we have laws about legal drugs, and we have laws about illegal drugs. And the laws are framed in such a way as to minimise the harm, the social harm and the personal harm from them. That's why there's laws about tobacco and alcohol. Other
countries have taken a much more relaxed attitude towards this. Even America recently. Spain are doing exactly what these guys are demanding. Why not?
They are. This initiative in Bristol is just a sort of flash in the pan again. We get these things from time to time. Spain has done it. Amsterdam's had coffee shops selling cannabis for years, but the numbers are reducing. And in the Netherlands, they're very concerned about the strength of some cannabis, and they've been concerned about that, and that is causing a lot of harm.
Well, this is what this club is saying, that they're being forced to go to dealers who, in turn, give them stronger cannabis, who, in turn, then you can call it a gateway drug.
Yeah.
And they want to stop that.
There is a lot of strong cannabis in the marketplace, but that's actually the product of consumer demand. I mean, the history of it is...
But surely this would stop that?
No.
Because they're growing their own here.
Well, they would probably grow strong cannabis. Strong cannabis is what consumers seem to want, and if you look at the websites of people who are using cannabis, that's what they've demanded. And originally the strong cannabis that came into the Netherlands then came onto the UK. There's a long history to this. The strong cannabis started in the US, actually.
So do you think we'll ever see a day when cannabis is actually legalised in this country?
I doubt it. I mean, you've got about 300 and something members of the Bristol Cannabis Club. We had a constituency parliamentary candidate in Bristol in 2010 who got 340-odd votes out of 55,000 people in Bristol West voting. There's only 14 MPs turned up to a debate about it. 4 of them were against it. I can't see it happening.
All right. David Rains, thank you very much.
Thank you.